Mama Samudra. Pernah pertama tarka berabar. Shirata Madhavari ki jai. Oh my God.
नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय बुद्धे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य कि जयो जयो गौरचांदे आरती का शोभा जयो जयो गौरचांदे आरती का शोभा जयो डोरी चामर दुलाया कि बनरा हरि आदि डोरी चामर दुलाया जया मुकुंद बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला
बहु कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe. Jai Radha Madhav Hari Radha Madhav Hari Radhe. Jai Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Srinaji Gopal, Jai Srinaji Gopal. Jai Om Nitai Gaura Hari, Jai Om Nitai Gaura Hari, Jai Nitai Gaura Hari, Jai Gaura Hari. Jai Om Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jai Subhadramaya. Jai Om Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Parviracharya Stotra Sada Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai Om ISKCON Founder Acharya BBT Founder Acharya Savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramamsa Parviracharya Nitya Leela Privishta Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Sat Goswami Prabhu ki प्रेम च हो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन नवदी धाम की मधुर धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की द्वारका धाम की गंगामय यमुनामय की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की समवेत भक्त वृंद की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की ट्रांसेंडेंटल शिला प्रभुपाद भक्ति भूषण की श्री श्री राधा माधव हरि की श्रीनाथ जी गोपाल की निताय भगवान की असमल वैष्णव जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर ब्रह्मनंदी all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glorious to Guru and Gauranga Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hiranyakashipu Rakshah. Hiranyakashipu Rakshah. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha. Yato yato yamitato Narasimha. Yato yato yamitato Narasimha. Gahe Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha. Gahe Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Madhim Saranam Prapade. Narasimha Madhim Saranam Prapade. Sabakara Kamalavade. Nakam Advuta Shringam. Dalita Hiranyakashipu. Tanubdega Kesavarita Narahani Rupa. Jai Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Jagadisa Hare. नरसिम्हा भगवान की बिला महाराज की नीचे को परमानंद है।
Hare Krishna everyone. Holidays and all, and you all made it here. So welcome to Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari Dham. On behalf of our presiding deities, Shri Shri Radha Madhav Hari, we are very glad you are here. And especially since it's going to be a nice class as well. So today we have His Grace Pranahari Prabhu, who's going to be giving a Bhagavad Gita class. not only Bhagavad Gita class, but it's going to be the Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita class today. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, verses 10, chapter 10, verses 8, 9, 10 and 11. So 4 verses from chapter 10 that are known as Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. Very happy that Pranahari Prabhu is going to give this class. He's a very quiet devotee, and he has been helping us in the background there. He has helped us with the Harinam and some book distribution, and he also participates in our Srimad Bhagavatam classes in the morning. So I'm very grateful to his service. He's a disciple of Visheshaka Prabhu at ISV, and he has been practicing Krishna consciousness for over a decade. And without taking much of your time, I'm going to give the mic over to Pranahari Prabhu. Please give him a warm round of applause. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Radha Madhavari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Pritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are welcome to the Sunday feast, everybody. We're going to read Bhagavad Gita texts 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is a section of the Gita that our acharyas have mentioned. They've noted it as being 4 of the most important verses in the Bhagavad Gita. And there are a lot of important verses, but these are they call it the Chatushlagi because there's a section in the Srimad Bhagavatam that there's also 4 verses that are spoken that are highly important. And so, did you want me to use that? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, let's see what Krishna's talking about here. Now, did we read in previous classes chapter 10, 1 through 7? Or no? Do you think people need any background at all? Who's read Bhagavad Gita? Raise your hand. I just want to see who I'm talking to, because if you have read it, and I have to gear my talk to those who have read it or have not read it. So otherwise, we don't want to be confusing anyone, because the Bhagavad Gita is the song of God, Bhagavan. So Krishna is speaking it, and in the 9th chapter, he says some important things. So let's just kind of lead up to why is this called the Chatushlagi? Why are these 4 verses super important? I mean, just to put it in context here, Krishna says in chapter 9 that idam tu te guyatamam pravakshyam yana suyave. He's telling Arjuna, I'm going to speak to you knowledge, which is guyatamam. Guyatama. So just like in English we have the word good, better, and best, in Sanskrit there's some suffix that you can put. So he doesn't say guyatara, which means like more secret. He says, I'm going to speak to you the guyatamam, the most secret. Krishna says it a few times, so it just keeps getting more and more secret. But in this 9th chapter, he is specifically advocating for bhakti, personal devotion to Bhagavan, the personal form of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse in Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 11, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam. That there's a non-dual substance that is the sages know it as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. They call it different names, different perspectives of that same thing, that same ultimate reality, the supreme the supreme reality, which we are all a part of. And everything we perceive or don't perceive is a part of this supreme reality. So depending on someone's shraddha, touch shraddhana munayo, depending on their shraddha, they perceive it accordingly. So in 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is specifically giving us the Guhyatama, the most secret revelation of knowledge. And what does he talk about? He talks about himself. He says, he speaks about his own personality. He said, there's so many verses you could quote, but without going through the 9th chapter, we'll just quote a famous one, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So he's saying, this is like the Abhideya, the bhajana process, the bhakti process, is to offer God everything. And so, specifically with bhakti, with love and devotion, it's a different context than Brahman or Paramatma yoga or realization, right? Brahman, it's more of Gyan Marg. There's not an offering, so to speak. There's more of an awareness, a consciousness. And Paramatma, I was just speaking with some family who are in town for the Christmas holidays. And they're of a different faith background. They don't practice Krishna consciousness, but they practice something, and the way they speak about their religion, about the intuitive sense, God speaking in the heart, this and that. I get the sense that they're speaking of a Paramatma sort of understanding or revelation of God. Right? Krishna says in the 15th chapter, Sarvasya chaham hridisani vishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. So he's saying that he's situated in the heart and he gives knowledge. Krishna can actually direct us from within. But that Paramatma realization of God is in reference to us in this material world. Whereas the Bhagavan realization of God is in reference to him in his world. There's a difference. That Paramatma is giving us some thoughts about what to do in this life. Don't make that turn, this and that. I mean, that's how my family were speaking. Safety of the body, stuff like. But anything. Paramatma can reveal anything based on what people desire, right? People desire to be in ignorance, so apohanam, he puts them in forgetfulness. But this is in reference to our own physiology and psychology in this body, which is temporary. Rather, Bhagavan realization is in reference to Krishna or one of his avatars in their transcendental abodes or dhams, which are not affected by time or the material gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So, basically chapter 10 is Krishna elaborating more on who he is as Bhagavan, as the personality of Godhead, because there's a long tradition in the Vedic culture of the Upanishads and just Vedic knowledge. There's lots of education that Arjuna would have had about the supreme source of everything. And in some of the verses, like in 10:7, where he's talking about the Kumaras and the other rishis like Brigu. No, it's 10:4 or something. Anyways. Yeah, so there's an education that Arjuna would have had, which Krishna is speaking these verses to. So he says in 4 and 5 that everything, buddhir, jnanam, asammoha, intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, all these different qualities, fame, infamy, fear, fearlessness, birth, death, happiness, distress, these all come from me. These are all from me. Mata Mata eva pritagvida. So, this chapter 10 is called Vibhuti Yoga. As we'll see, he's using this word Vibhuti in text 7. Etam Vibhutim Yogam Cha. So, Prabhupada translates yoga as mystic power here. Krishna says, one who knows my vibhutis, opulences, and yoga, mystic power, meaning his godhood, actually, then they will engage in my devotional service without a doubt. They'll attain me. Let's read the first verse. Text 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So Krishna says, go up to the Sanskrit also, that he is the prabhava of everything. Sarvasya here means the total jagat, the entire universe. Everything. So fear, fearlessness, you got everything. Everything spiritual, material, etc. There's nothing he's not the prabhava of. Prabhava means the source of generation. Mata sarvam pravartate, and everything comes from me, Krishna says. Iti matva, one who knows this, knowing this, someone who's Buddha, someone who's intelligent. Buddha, a synonym is vivekin, someone who's discriminating, of discriminating intelligence, who's thoughtful. Someone who's thoughtful, and bhava samanvitaha, they have some bhava, they actually have some affection for me, they will worship me. So, a lot of the I'd like to make a comment here that the way I was thinking about this verse is we go through our lives in the material world here as, conditioned jivas, at least I do. And we have a duality that this is Krishna and this is something else. We come to the temple, we pay obeisances to the deities on the altar. Here is Krishna. And of course this is very good because this is Krishna and this is Krishna's form. And we can actually physically engage in serving Krishna through the Archa Vigraha. But in this verse, Krishna is saying, everything you see actually comes from me and I'm the source of. So it's kind of like if anyone has ever had a surprise present or something like that. Honestly, I've been thinking about it for days. I haven't thought of a great example, but if you get a surprise present in the mail and you don't know who it is, who's it from, but you like it, then you might think, who is this? Who gave this to me? And you're enjoying it. And then, your mom or dad or whatever come and visit and say, hey, did you get the present? And you realize it was them. And you feel this overwhelming sense of appreciation and gratitude that, they were behind it. They were behind that gift. So mata sarvam pravartate, everything comes from Krishna. Let's say someone sends you, something inauspicious. I don't know. Let's say you're at work and you get a letter from an unsigned letter from someone in the management that you're fired, and then you realize it was someone you dropped coffee on or something earlier that week, and they just fired you. But you don't know who it is. But then you realize who it is. So then you get angry. You feel like I'm upset with that person. In either case, whether it's positive or negative, your consciousness has now flown to that person specifically. You understand who is behind the thing. Is this right? So in life, we generally, like in other religious traditions that have a dualistic conception. Remember, this Brahman is this non-dual absolute truth, Advaya Gyan. There's no duality, but some traditions have a duality, meaning that which is good to me is from God, and that which is bad is from the devil. And as devotees, we say the same stuff. We say Maya. We say Maya this, Maya that. But guess who's behind Maya? Krishna. Yeah, what's that verse in the 9th chapter? Anyone know it? 9:10? Let's look it up. No, that's 9:14. Oh, that's a great verse too. Maya dyakshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena konteya jagadvipari vartate. So Krishna is saying very directly, I'm behind this Maya. He says it also later in previously in the 7th chapter, 7:25. Krishna says, 7:20, 5. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrtaha. I'm covered by Maya. It's not that the sun is covered by the cloud, so we can see the sun. Krishna is like the sun and we are like on the earth. So the clouds cover the sun, right? Yoga maya samavrtaha. So the sun's not covered, but our vision of the sun from our perspective is covered. And we call that Maya. So I'm just trying to enter into the understanding of this verse because even Prabhupada's translation, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. And the wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So my question is, how many of us are on the bhajan stage here? Bhajante? And what to speak of with Bhav, but what about like this iti matva? Have we really fully discriminated Krishna's presence in our lives? What to speak of in the material things or the so-called Maya things, but even in like spiritual things? How aware are we of Krishna's presence in the deity form, in the holy name when we chant? So that's actually what's being said, iti matva. I feel like I'm still on that stage of having fully considered. Matva means like determining. It means having determined. How does Prabhupada translate it? Knowing. So having knowing or having determined this. So we often, as sadhakas, we read, we get lectured, we get all the knowledge we need to kind of be a member of the temple and whatnot, or in the family, whatever it is that we can kind of fit ourselves in. But we will have trouble moving on to the next stage of worshiping God with all our hearts until we develop this stronger discrimination. Buddha, we have to be a little more discriminating in our lives and try to see Krishna in it. And be grateful even for the inauspiciousness, whatever that means. Because nothing is inauspicious for the devotee of Krishna. Krishna is behind it. So it's Krishna behind it. It's not that guy you don't like at work or whoever behind something bad. It's Krishna. So in that sense, like in the limbs of Sharanagati, Goptritve Varanam Tata, when one takes shelter of Krishna, then they think Rakshishyatiti Vishvas. So they develop this Vishvas, this faith that Rakshishyati, he will protect me. So this is how Srila Prabhupada was able to have 2 heart attacks and so much turmoil in his preaching mission, and he had this faith. Krishna is protecting me. I've taken shelter. It's like someone who owns a cow or any animal, and they sell that cow. So they are no longer responsible for the maintenance of that cow. It is now the new owner's responsibility. So when we have that feeling, that mood in our hearts, that I am giving myself to Krishna, Goptritve Varanam. Has anyone heard of the Swayamvar, this Swayamvara? That's where the woman will choose the husband. Swayamvara. Vara means choice. So Goptritva means protectorship, varanam. Having the choice of, you are my protector. Goptritve varanam. So choosing, Krishna, you're my goptra, you're my protector. That's the first step, actually. Otherwise, how can you think rakshishyati? How can you think he will protect me if you haven't said, I'm selling you the cow. I'm the cow, I'm yours now. I am yours. So that is an important step to be able to exercise this consciousness and have this discrimination in our life. Krishna is telling us here in this verse, but it's so deep in terms of the steps to get to the stage of bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Let's go to the next verse now. Each of these verses is, there's a lot in it, so we're just moving quickly. Okay, text 9. Machchita mad gata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantaschamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. This is a beautiful verse. I love this one. Machchita means those whose minds are attached to me. Mat chitta, their consciousness is on me. And madgita prana means their prana, their life, are dedicated to me. I'm the goal of their lives. Their whole, every breath. You can think about it. Why is prana, the prana, apana, all these different airs in the body, why is it synonymous with life? Because if you stop breathing for 3 minutes, you're dead. This body's dead, at least. So their very breaths are dedicated. The goal of every of their breaths is me. It's very beautiful. So it's a high level of adhikar here already. Those people derive great pleasure and happiness. They enjoy talking about me. There's 3 words here. Well, I thought there was 3 words. There's 2 words. Yeah, I guess there's 2 words. Bodhayanta and katayanta. Bodhayanta means they are hearing about me. Paraspara means together in a friendly way. So when you have like-minded association, it's very natural, actually. I'm just trying to make this relatable for everyone, because in our own lives we have friends, perhaps, and we talk about whatever that friend group is interested in. Maybe something from work, maybe the stock market, maybe politics, maybe I don't know. You guys are younger. What do you talk about? Schoolwork, etc. So there's like friends who talk about stuff, and it's fun. You want to hang out with your friends and just talk. It's very natural. So the devotees here naturally come together in that like-minded association and talk about Krishna. They hear from others, and they speak themselves. Let me pull this up. There was a interesting gloss of one of these words. Krishna. Let's see. In 10.9, yeah. So he says, this is from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, says, Bodhayanta bhakti swarupa prakaradikam sauhardena gyapayantaha. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to look at. Oh well, I'll just say it. But he says somewhere in there that this speaking about me and hearing about me, it's done with reference to hearing Shastra, actually. So that's an important little side note that I'm sure most of you are aware, that we don't just... It has to come from... It has to be centered around the Shastra. So Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all the Bhakti Shastras, really, that we've been given by Veda Vyasadeva or our Acharyas, that is the centerpiece. Some people talk around a dinner table or coffee table. That's the centerpiece, is that Shastra. And that's what everyone's themselves taking part in and sharing with others. So that's what this means, is it's greatly pleasurable. It is greatly pleasurable for them to do that. Prabhupada translates Ramanti here as enjoy transcendental bliss. That's because it actually propels us to a spiritual environment, or the spiritual energy, the Antaranga Shakti, basically is giving something that's different than just material satisfaction. So Tushanti is kind of referring to, you become satisfied at heart. There's a beautiful verse in the 4th canto, which I won't remember, but some people might remember it. It's talking about, it's with the Prachetas. In the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse that says that as long as there is talks and hearing about me, or about Krishna, I forget who spoke it, illusion, enviousness, and one other thing, they go away. Do you kind of recall the verse I'm speaking of? I would have to look it up. But it's a beautiful verse. There's another verse in the 3rd canto. Kapila Dev says, Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. And in this verse he mentions that this kata, this bodhiyanta and katayanta, when we talk about and hear about Krishna, because think about it, we might not have this feeling of much chitta and mud gita prana. Our every breath might not be offered to Krishna, because that takes love. It actually takes affection. One of the synonyms for, in the previous verse, bhava samanvita, is priti yukta, one who's endowed with affection. Otherwise, it's very hard to obtain all this pleasure from talking about someone. Try to relate it to a material example. If you're talking about the stock market or something, and that money is somehow giving us pleasure, right? So it's very exciting. It's very, we love to talk about that. Or, I don't know, people talk about famous movie stars, sports players, all sorts of people who they have some sort of affection for. Or a thing, again, like money. You have affection for it. It means something to you. You have shraddha in it, actually. Your heart has been attached to something. So then we derive great pleasure from talking about it. Krishna is saying, my devotees do that with me, and they experience a transcendental bliss. So the other things will give us nausea, honestly. So it's better to think about Krishna. Let's go to the next verse. And hopefully we can have a little time for discussion. So they attain great bliss and tushti. Tushti means satisfaction and pleasure from this activity. So someone might ask, what is the... That's nice, but what about you? These devotees, they like talking about you, but is there any hope for them to actually meet you, actually get you? So Krishna says this in this verse. He's responding to this thought. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. He's assuring that those who are engaged like that, who are engaged with this affection, who do continue to worship me and desire to be with me consistently. Satata means always. So that's why consistency is important in our sadhana. Otherwise, we might feel something once a year, go to Janmashtami, you feel happy, wow, Krishna, so nice, or you get that raise that you were waiting for, you get that A in your test, fill in the blank. You get whatever you want, and oh, thank you, you feel some affection, Krishna. But actually, this Krishna is saying, those who always want me no matter what, they're in the happiness they want me, in the distress they want me, and in the indifference they want me. Sometimes we're just bored, right? Isn't that hellish when you're bored? Has anyone been, Who's been bored recently? Raise your hand. It's a hellish state. Really horrible. In fact, we have all these books. It's so embarrassing. But you're bored and you're just indifferent. Take it or leave it. So Krishna is saying, Satata Yuktanam, those who really, really want me. Some people want Krishna, but some people really, really want Krishna. He gives the dami. I give them the buddhi, the intelligence, that by which they can come to me. So that could come in many different forms, that intelligence. It could mean you read one verse and it speaks to you. It could mean some great sadhu, some soul comes into your life and you get the intelligence to ask questions, take shelter of them. But we don't know. Krishna, everyone's an individual with individual circumstances. But Krishna is assuring that if you really want me, I'll give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful verse. I'm debating whether I was going to read either the next purport or this one. Let's read this one. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Well, first translation. To those who are constantly devoted to me, to serving me, rather, with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport. In this verse, the word buddhi yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of buddhi yoga. Now, buddhi yoga is explained. Buddhi yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities, or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness and devotional service, his action is called buddhi yoga. In other words, buddhi yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life, but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in jnana yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization. But if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. So, yeah, we have to want it. We could you could take initiation, you could join a spiritual organization, but you have to want to serve Krishna. And here Prabhupada is saying how important it is, the association. When we're around those who want to also serve Krishna, who also enjoy talking about him, it rubs off on us. But well, it's in the next purport here, actually. If someone is not able to do that for whatever reason, Krishna helps from within if somebody really wants it. So let's read the next verse. Tesham evanukam partam aham agyanajam tama nashyam yatma bhavasto Jnanadipena Bhasvata. So here Krishna is saying that Prabhupada's translation, to show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. A lot of the time we talk about the goal. Someone might ask you, so if you're distributing books or something, or someone new to the temple, what is this for? Well, I'm trying to purify my consciousness. I'm trying to purify myself. Purity. Someone's chanting kirtan. It's like, I need purity to chant. Now, here Krishna is specifically saying that he is the purifier. In the purport, maybe we should have read this purport. We could read this purport. Let me try to see. There's one section where Srila Prabhupada mentions that the Lord takes charge of his devotees' purification. The devotee doesn't need to worry about purification. Purification, what does that even mean? Does it mean I don't have lust, anger, greed? That's part of it. But those are born of tamas and rajas. So these modes of nature, which are like drops of food coloring in the clean, clear water of our minds, of the chitta, and coloring it a certain way, he purifies that. Krishna is saying, I do that. So as practitioners of bhakti, a lot of the time we emphasize on purification. Krishna specifically says, why should they worry about that? Don't worry about that. I got it. Krishna says, I am the purifier. And in fact, he's the best purifier because nobody can purify themselves of avidya, agyana jam tama, this darkness that is born of ignorance, the avidya that we have, cannot be removed by our own efforts. It's not possible. So when we chant for purification, Krishna, he's not as interested in that because he's already planning to take care of that part of it. He's really interested in the relationship of love. That's why again and again we've heard bhava samanvita, pritipurvakam, machchita madgata prana. In all the past 3 verses, it is emphasized again and again and again about this, trying to relate to Krishna as with affection. With affection, actually. It's hard to kind of understand the Supreme Lord, as he's saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, as this very reverential details that are given. Krishna's giving everything. He's the Lord of everything. How do you develop affection? It's almost like a fearful, I'm a little afraid. He can send something negative my way, etc. But again, when you see that Krishna's behind it all, and you like Krishna, then you feel an affection that it's my friend, it's my whatever. However, whatever association you've got that impels you to relate to Krishna in a certain way. Like in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, for instance, we relate to like two-handed Krishna with the flute. Other sampradayas relate differently. So that's why I'm saying it'll depend how you relate to that personality of Godhead. But the purpose of these verses is Krishna saying, I want you to relate to me like that. That's the secret of all secrets. That's the thing that's being emphasized here. And he's saying, I'm taking care of the purification. It is not our responsibility. It is our responsibility to worship him with love. So, vacho vegam manasakrota vegam, this verse is saying that in Upadeshamrita, you have to kind of control your mind and senses at least something. It's prudent, isn't it? To be a little bit self-controlled if you love someone. But Krishna doesn't count it against someone who's not, who is still affected by any mode of nature, sattva, rajas, or tamas, or any mixture of them. Krishna doesn't hold it against you. He simply says, focus on me and read about me, hear about me, get together, enjoy the katha. So, just one last note, and then we'll open for some questions or discussion. Again, this was a whirlwind of these 4 verses. Could definitely take each one for a week at least. But, the Chatushloki in the Bhagavatam, Krishna tells Brahma that there's 4 topics which he would like to tell about: Jnana, Vijnana, Rahasya, and Tadanga. And these are relating to Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. The Abhideya being Bhakti, and the Rahasya, the Prayojana, and the Rahasya being Priti or Prema. So similarly, these verses also speak of something similar. And that's why perhaps our acharyas call them the Chatushloki of the Gita, is because they topically are related to those 4 verses in Bhagavatam. Well, I'm going to stop there. Any questions or comments, reflections, thoughts? Because this is where it really starts. We just kind of did a whirlwind review of what's even being said here. Now what we're really meant to do is take that home and think about it. We're meant to think about, how is Krishna manifest in my life, and how can I see him behind all phenomena? And how can I have an affectionate relationship? How can I feel affection? And also, I would say, where can I get a study group? Where can I find those people to talk about Krishna and hear about him and enjoy that? Yes?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. I was just saying, these 4 verses really, I've always felt very much attachment to these 4 verses, like you explained about just understanding who Krishna is. And then what do you do when you know who Krishna is? You start doing the process. But I like how beautifully you really went deep into all of those. And specifically this one, I never heard it like this, don't worry about purification, I got it. So that was really, I guess, much more supportive to know that, yes, Krishna got it. So really our goal is really enhancing that relationship with the Lord. But maybe because our hearts are not that pure, I think that's why we keep thinking so much of the purification. That's just my realization. But then, of course, like you said, ultimately our goal is that we enhance our relationship with the Lord. So this was just a comment, but I really have appreciation for how you explained everything. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Arjuna also in the next verse, he's also amazed by these verses. Arjuna's reaction is, because Arjuna is relating to Krishna as a friend, right? Or as a cousin. And so Krishna's connecting the dots for Arjuna, but for all of us, that, hey, I'm that thing that's talked about in the Upanishads. I'm that supreme source of everyone. I'm the indwelling supersoul. There's a beautiful way of thinking about it to kind of, jolt our thoughts about our affection for Krishna. Like we have affection for our families, perhaps, or we should. So you have wife, kids, you have affection. But why? Because they're a part of us, actually. That's how it's explained. We might have affection for our friends and other, but someone else's family, in another state who we don't know anything about, do I really have affection for those people? At least at my level of consciousness, no. I don't even know them. I have no feeling for them. Not as much feeling. Sometimes we feel like as humans, there's that sort of thing. But so that's called our self, our quote-unquote selfishness, being externally manifest. This is in 10th canto when Brahma steals the cows and the calves and the cowherd boys. And Pariksha Maharaj is like, why are they so affectionate to these copies that are actually Krishna, more so than their own boys. And that's because Shukadeva Goswami says that actually everyone is selfish. That is the nature of the jiva, is selfishness. So if we have external selfishness, if our selfishness manifests externally, then first and foremost we care about this body and mind. This is me. This is my body, mind. So we're very attached to it. And anything related to this body and mind, my family, my friends, my car, we're very attached to that because it's related to me. It's external selfishness. But if you reverse that and go internal selfishness, what you get is super soul. Because he's the self of ourselves. So actually, that's internal selfishness. We have to direct our self-gratification in service to he who is actually the soul of our souls. And I kind of lost track of how that was related to your point. But, the point being that could be a trigger for our feelings of affection. Because we have affection already, but it's externally manifesting. And the more internalized it gets, the more, especially through the help of Shastra, Sadhu, Guru, we can actually try to relate to Krishna like that. Yes, Prabhu. Anything else? Any comments, questions, doubts, contrary opinions, additions? Anything else? What's the next part of the program? Did you guys like the class, or was it too many verses? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Krishna speaks these words, and I think there's a great depth to every word. So when we try to look at each word Krishna speaks, and kind of look at why did Prabhupada say that? Why does Prabhupada write that? We can source from it great inspiration. I want to make it practical. That's why I was attempting to do was a lot of it's philosophical, but how do we bridge the gap between our learning and our knowledge base? I bet any of the younger ones, even like probably 5 years old or less in this temple, could tell us a lot of philosophy, So just because we're adults and we know the philosophy does not mean we have applied it in our lives. In fact, the tendency is that we don't. And that is what sadhana means. It's the practice of application of this knowledge. And so it helps to have these classes to understand what is the knowledge, number one, but also attempt to give some recommendations and encouragements and at least have some discussion. Nididhyasana, we need to contemplate in ourselves and in our like-minded groups, how do I apply this? How is this relevant? So, anything else? Going once, going twice. Sold. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Pranahari Prabhu, for a nice class. Please give a big round of applause. I think you can do better than that. So, we'd like to thank today's sponsors. We have Shlok Chaudhary celebrating a birthday. Is the family here? Shlok Chaudhary. Please give them a big round of applause. I think they might have been here a little bit earlier and picked up their Mahaprasad today. And I see the Kapoor families here, Raj and Anju Kapoor. please come and receive your Mahaprasad. They're celebrating an anniversary as well as a birthday, so big round of applause for the Kapoor family. This is your anniversary, we'll just let you exchange the money. Happy anniversary. And whose birthday was it, yours? Oh, okay. All right. Happy birthday. Yeah, family birthday. Thank you so much. Mataji and Prabhu used to teach Hindi many years ago at the temple, and we're very glad for their service. So thank you so much. So anyone can sponsor a Sunday feast, either for an anniversary, for a birthday, for graduation, for gratitude, just simply Annadan in memory of someone. So whatever excuse or reason you have, you are welcome to sponsor the Sunday feast. And Shivananda Prabhu is at the counter there, and he'd be happy to help you. We also have Gita Marathon going on right now, and with those of you who have already sponsored Bhagavad Gita for distribution or have purchased Bhagavad Gita for distribution, we'd like to thank you, gratitude to you. For those of you who haven't, please take some time and you can sponsor as little as 5 books for $51 or cases of Bhagavad Gita. We have them on special price. The soft Bhagavad Gitas, you get 24 in a case. There's $101. And then the hard, you get 16 copies in a case. And that's $151. So please be generous and support our cause of distributing Bhagavad Gita through the year at colleges, and we also send them to the prisons. And we also give them to people who come here and who cannot afford them. And many other places we distribute Bhagavad Gita. So please help us. So we don't come knocking at your door next year and asking for Lakshmi. We just simply do it at the end of every year. And it helps us so much. And North America has sponsored a lot of books, and we want to contribute our share of the Bhagavad Gita numbers for distribution here. Ekadashi is on Thursday. So those of you who follow Ekadashi, we fast from grains and beans, and that's this coming Thursday. Just a reminder. And also we are going to have Kirtan at the temple for Ekadashi, and it's going to be from 3 to 9 o'clock. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 9. So 6-hour Kirtan at the temple this coming Thursday to celebrate Ekadashi. Then on Monday, 30th of December, there's going to be food distribution at the homeless men's shelter in Mesa. So if you're interested in helping us, please come and see myself or Parthasarthi Prabhu, and we can give you the information there. On New Year's Day, which is next Wednesday, 1st of January, we're going to be having a yagya at the temple in the evening at 5 o'clock. So I know a lot of you like to come for New Year's for Mangalarti, which is at 4:30 in the morning. And then we have a lot of people I know come at lunchtime for the Rajbhog Aarti at 12 o'clock. But this year we also have a yagya at 5 o'clock to usher in the new year. So it's a very auspicious thing to do. So please come and join us for the fire sacrifice on New Year's Day, Wednesday at 5 o'clock. 6:30 there will be Arati, and then we'll have Prasadam after the Arati. So that's next Wednesday, January 1. Today we have a short session after the announcements for about book distribution. We have a couple of devotees who are visiting us from ISV, and as you all know, that is the book distribution center in North America. And we have Nikunja Nayaka Prabhu and team who are going to give us some tips on book distribution. So if anybody is interested, please join us after the announcements. It'll be after taking the blessings, and you can honor your prasadam at that time. There'll just be a few slides and so forth. So I'd like to take an opportunity to thank those devotees also for helping us. So please give them a big round of applause for helping us and showing us how to distribute books. Srila Prabhupada's books here. Thank you so much. I'm going to end here. We're going to be taking blessings. We'll have prasadam prayers recited, and the children and all senior people can go first with the volunteers. Same with the prasadam line. We'll have children and elders go first, and then the rest of us can join the line. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. This is short, there's a small change. We're going to all sit and listen to the presentation for book distribution. It will not take so long. We'll have blessings after that and prasadam also. So just bear with us. There's a lot of space here, so just move forward, and we'll have a very short presentation on tips of how to distribute books. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, let me just double check.
Very short presentation, so it's very happy when you talk about it to other people. So it's advantageous for everyone for us to distribute and spiritual knowledge, and obviously about Lord Krishna to other people. Krishna is very dear to the person who distributes knowledge about him to other people. So it will help you all. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees. My name is Nikunjan Nayak Das, and I have come with a few of my friends here. I think they might be sitting somewhere in the behind. Krishna Saka, my wife Aradhika, and Kamalakshi Radha Mataji. So this is our first time in Phoenix. Our intention here is to come and do some Sankirtan for Prabhupada Marathon. And we'll be here for a few days. My intention is here to share some tips that we have been using successfully, so that you can also do some great Sankirtan here in Phoenix. And so pretty soon I'm going to start some presentation. It's going to be very simple and very short. And it will be fun if you all can participate, and it doesn't need to have any philosophical discussion, just raising hand, that's enough. Okay, yeah, we'll just set up in 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, there it is. Can I use this? Yeah. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so the first slide is what book distribution is, and we'll also understand what it is not also, because there has been many misconception that our mind just builds up out of nowhere, and then we start living with those misconceptions and missing out on the beautiful Sankirtan life. Okay, so the first one, what book distribution is. So I'm gonna show a few lines here, and if you resonate with any of those, you can just raise hand, or you can smile also, that's okay. I'll take that as an S, okay? So the first one is, book distribution is for senior devotees. Someone who's been in the movement for quite some time, they can understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and they only can distribute books and give philosophy, Krishna consciousness to others. This is a conception. So if you think anybody thinks or resonates with this, you can raise your hands. I can see few smiles, so I'll take that as an S also. Okay, and another one is, one needs to convince people philosophically. This is another major misconception, understanding. Saying that if I do this, if I can convince people philosophically, then